If I told you there was a place on Earth that looks like it belongs in a science fiction movie, a place where the trees bend and twist into alien sculptures, where the air smells like ancient resin, and where mountains rise out of the mist like the bones of a sleeping giant, would you believe me? Well, welcome to Socotra Island, a place so strange, so breathtaking, and so otherworldly that even NASA scientists once joked it could pass for another planet. Far out in the Arabian Sea, closer to Somalia than Yemen, lies a jewel of nature that the modern world has barely touched. Socotra is small on the map, just about 82 miles long, but step onto its soil and you'll feel as if you walked into another dimension. Here, the sun paints the sky in fiery oranges and purples at dawn, the ocean roars against wild cliffs, and in between a landscape stretches out that's unlike anything you've ever seen. The trees here, the legendary dragon's blood trees, stand like giant green umbrellas, casting pools of shadow in the heat. The sand on some beaches glows white under the sun, while other shores are made of sharp, volcanic rock that hums when waves crash against it. But Socotra is more than a beautiful postcard. It's a living, breathing time capsule, a place shaped by millions of years of isolation, evolution, and stories whispered by the wind. Socotra broke away from the mainland about 20 million years ago, and since then, nature has worked like an artist in complete solitude. The result? Over a third of its plants exist nowhere else on Earth. Imagine walking through a valley where every plant, every blossom, every thorn has been designed by nature for this exact place and nowhere else. The most famous is the dragon's blood tree. Its canopy spreads like a green mushroom top, each branch curving upward, as if reaching for the sun. When you cut its bark, it bleeds a thick crimson sap once prized in ancient trade as medicine, dye, and even incense. The resin glistens like rubies in the sunlight, almost unsettling in its beauty. Then there's the desert rose, which looks like a swollen bottle with pink flowers bursting from its top, like something Dr. Seuss would have dreamed up after a walk in the desert. The cucumber tree grows here too. Yes, a tree that grows fruit resembling cucumbers, and nowhere else on Earth will you find it growing wild. Socotra's coastline is just as strange and magical. Some beaches are vast stretches of untouched white sand where crabs scuttle and seabirds wheel in the wind. Others are guarded by jagged black cliffs where the waves have carved caves into the rock. And then there's the water, the bluest, clearest, and most hypnotic shades of turquoise, where coral reefs teem with fish in colors so bright they look painted. The weather here is as unpredictable as it is dramatic. Warm trade winds sweep across the island most of the year, but when the monsoons arrive, the seas become too wild for boats, and even the air seems to shimmer with energy. For thousands of years, people have called this island home. The native Socotri people speak their own language, an ancient tongue that isn't spoken anywhere else and has no written form. It's been passed down through generations purely by voice, like a living song of the island. Traditionally, their homes were built from stone or palm fronds, designed to withstand the island's harsh winds and hot sun. Villages would often be tucked away in valleys, near freshwater springs hidden among the rocks. Their way of life has always been tied to nature. Goat herding is common, as is fishing along the calmer shores. The dragon's blood resin was once carefully harvested and traded, while frankincense and myrrh trees provided aromatic treasures. But beyond the economy, there's a quiet rhythm to life here, a rhythm that hasn't changed much in centuries. Even today, in the more remote areas, you might see children chasing goats under the shadow of a dragon's blood tree, or elders sitting together at sunset, watching the horizon. The people here have an intimacy with the land. They can read the wind, smell the rain before it falls, and navigate the mountain paths without a map. Socotra has always carried an air of mystery. Sailors from ancient times spoke of it in hushed tones, describing strange trees, powerful herbs, and even whispers of magical creatures. Some believed the dragon's blood sap had healing powers strong enough to bring the near-dead back to life. For centuries, the island was a waypoint for traders crossing the Arabian Sea, yet it remained fiercely independent, its remoteness protecting it from overexposure to the outside world. There are caves here, deep, winding labyrinths with walls covered in the stalactites and ancient markings. Some researchers think these caves hold evidence of human life from thousands of years ago, perhaps even older than many civilizations we know. And then there's the geography mountains that look like ancient fortresses, valleys so green they seem impossible in the middle of an arid sea, and massive sand dunes that stretch like golden rivers under the burning sun. Standing at the highest point of the island, you can see both the rugged mountains and the endless ocean, a reminder that this place is both isolated and deeply connected to the vast world beyond. In recent years, Socotra has begun to open its doors to the outside world slowly. Small numbers of travelers have started arriving, drawn by its untouched beauty and alien-like landscapes. But tourism here is nothing like crowded holiday resorts. There are no big hotels, no flashy signs. Most visitors stay in simple camps or small guest houses run by local families. The experience is raw, authentic, and deeply personal. This, of course, raises a question. How do you preserve a place like Socotra, a place so unique, so delicate, that even a small change could tip its balance? Scientists and conservationists are working with the locals to protect the island's fragile ecosystem. But the world beyond is always watching, and the more people see of Socotra's beauty, the more they want to experience it themselves. Places like Socotra are rare. They remind us of what the Earth can create when left undisturbed for millions of years. But they also remind us of our responsibility. We live in a time when almost every corner of the planet has been touched by human hands, forests cut down, rivers dammed, landscapes reshaped. Socotra still stands as a testament to what's possible when nature is allowed to write its own story. And it makes you wonder, how many other Socotras have we lost before we even knew they existed? If you ever find yourself standing on the shores of Socotra, with the wind carrying the scent of resin and salt, and the dragon's blood trees casting their strange shadows over the sand, you'll understand. You'll understand that this isn't just an island. It's a glimpse into another world. A place that has existed for millions of years, and, if we're careful, might exist for millions more. Socotra is not just beautiful. It is a reminder that sometimes the strangest places are the most important to protect.